Alright, so I wanted to record an intro for this, and I was looking for something to put in front of the camera, and so I figured I'd turn on this little snowball. Snowball. It's not a snowball. What is it called? Y'all. It's bad. My brain is bad. Anyway, it's pretty, it's shiny, it turns on, it sparkles. I keep this in my office and I never turn it on. So I figured I would turn it on and share it with you while I did the intro here. So as you could see probably from the screenshot, this is going to be this is a pretty big supply haul. More stress buying, Christmas gifts, and just trying, yeah, just indulging. But I am pretty pleased with just about everything I got. I actually found some pretty great deals that were not on Black Friday, or at other random times. And I actually went ahead and splurged on some marker sets that I've actively been using and enjoying. So, yeah, the only things I'm gonna say on this is it's going to feel pretty chopped together, because it was. It was chopped together pretty much over the course of 2 weeks, and because there was swatching, and there was swatching, and there was swatching, and there was swatching, and I could probably point an arrow to about 10 different things in that picture that I had to swatch. Because if I don't swatch them for myself, I'm never going to do it. So I might as well do it so you guys can see what colors are available, and to save my sanity down the road when I'm like, what colors are in this? So I'm going to say this now. I need to like make it a requirement to watch this video. I joked with Tammy from Tammy Colors too that I needed to record a clip when I was swatching the very last item I'm going to show you, which is the Kalour 300 pencil set. I should have took a video clip of me in the middle of that swatching and make myself watch that every time I want to buy something new that requires swatching, because when I tell y'all that it was just sad for my soul at that moment. I was so tired of doing that. It's ridiculous. So let that be a lesson for me, and help me in the upcoming year and my changes to my budget and my low buy / no buy for 2024 that's coming up. So let that be yet another reason why. Because it was a lot, but like I said, it's beneficial, so I'm glad it's done. Now I just have to organize all my swatches, and how many times can I say swatch in a video? And so let's go ahead and get started. I think I'm gonna start us off with markers, alcohol markers, then watercolors and gouache, watercolor adjacent items like brushes and cups and things like that, and then we will round out with gel pens, watercolor pencils, and then the Kalour colored pencils. So let's go ahead and get started. So I have a couple marker sets to show you. I still have some budget friendly markers that I like to use mostly for color by number. However, they are Chisel fine tip, and I am burning through those pretty well. My beloved brush tip wise brands are almost all gone. Still bitter. I will be forever bitter over the fact that I haven't seen those come back. If anybody ever sees the Wise Brand brush tip markers come back, please tell me. That is my favorite budget, like little 50 set of markers. And anyway, I really love the brush chisel tip combo. And I do have a full set of Copics. However, because of my budgeting for next year, I'm probably only going to be able to slowly get the refills over time. And so I'm hesitant to use them before I dry them out and can refill them, because in the past when I've done that, it's been harder to get the marker restarted if it stayed dry a couple weeks. So I am trying to limit how much I'm using my Copics. So because I wanted some more brush tip sets, and because of that, I decided to invest in some markers. So I did a marker series a few months ago. I guess I'll put the very beginner video up here in the top right, where I talk a lot about different types of markers, my recommendations, and the 40 set of Caliart and 40 set of Ohuhus I've had have done very well, but I'm even starting to burn through those. So that's what I went with. Just for a little bit of variety, I ended up getting the Caliart 120 set, which is a brush and chisel set. I don't know why in the world I didn't bring a marker in here to show you, but I'm going to put a screenshot in here. So, yeah, so as you can see, what I did was I put those into my marker storage that I have. I actually had about 10 of these left that I could put these in, and these are going in the living room where I typically color mostly in the evenings and everything. So I think those will be really nice. So these are kind of my living room. I want to blend a bit. I want some color variety, and I need something a little more robust than my budget markers kind of set for the living room. So I got the 120 set, the brush and chisel, because I do love that. And here are the colors. A few out there colors, but for the most part, what I would expect from a 120 set. You do get a fair amount of yellows, some golds, kind of a dark orange color. You don't get a ton of like true orange colors. You get like a light orange and a dark orange, but you don't get a lot in between, which is not unusual. Same with the purples. You only get about 3 to 6. This is technically like a red, purple, blue, purple, these two right here. So typically oranges and purples you don't get. Well, these technically could be counted as purples too. So it's not the worst set for purples. Actually not a ton of pink, which is unusual. Good amount of different types of skin tones and browns and peaches, fair amount of reds, greens. I mean, it's a 120 set, so you're not going to get a huge my brain is not braining today. I don't know why I thought I should film this today. I apologize. My brain's all over the place. You definitely can build. I was able to build quite a few 3-color combos with the 40 set. And so obviously this is going to give you a lot more options. You do get a fair amount of grays. You get mostly green grays, warm grays, and cool grays. You also get a neutral couple of grays, which is nice. I don't know if you really get, there are blue grays. For some reason I put them up here. I had to sort and swatch these myself, so they might seem a little bit out of order, but and I like using the blue grays a lot for like glass and windows, so I'm always happy when I see blue grays in a set. So yeah, these are kind of going to be a workhorse, and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to show some samples, but I'm going to show them at the end with all 3 sets of markers, just because that's going to be a lot easier for me, and I can film this before I color all those. Alright, so next up, for my kind of holder for before I can use my Copics more regularly, I did go ahead and get the Ohuhu 216 Honolulu marker set. I know there's like a 320 set or something like that, but I was hoping that this set would have fewer pastels because I do have the original 48 pastel set, but it does have pastels, so now I have duplicates. So I know there's a logic to it, but I didn't want to pay the price for the 300. So I settled for the 216 and then got the Caliarts instead, and I'm pretty happy with that. Let me show you how they came. They show up in this gargantuan case, and see, this is part of the thing, is like, this is 216. I can imagine how much bigger the 300 set is. Like, I was originally going to use these in the living room. I think instead I'm going to use these in my office because it's just so darn many, and I don't have a place to put them around my couch. I have sorted all these, tried to put them as close as I can to even out the different sections. So they come with these little lift up, lift down cardboard sections that make it sturdier than just a soft case usually is. Took a bunch of time to swatch them out so they're all nice and pretty. And I think instead I'm going to keep these in the office. These will be what I use in place of my Copics. If I need a specific Copic color though that's not in my Ohuhu set or my Caliarts, then I can pull that. So I found an interesting swatch. I was gonna say I should probably link. If you want to know where I got a specific swatch at, just let me know, and I will provide you a link to that. But this one I'm going to specifically call out is a YouTuber that had not only the, this is her swatch order that she prefers, and she's an artist, and so I thought I'd try this for fun instead of the Ohuhu order, just to see how this looked. And this is an interesting order for me because a lot of these go from like dark to light. There are definitely 3 color combos that are together like this, but you can also sometimes look above and below and get a nice complementary color too. So like, it's not just the 3 that are side by side that are just the only combo. Like, you can kind of look around a bit and find some interesting combos as well. So this is an interesting looking swatch. The only thing that messed me up is the color names are at the top, then the swatch, and I'm used to it being the other way. So I had to be real careful to make sure I didn't swatch the wrong row, which I think I did like once. But this comes with a really nice variety. Like I said, there are pastels in here. I'm not sure if it's the 48 or the 96. I think there's 96 pastels. Man, Ohuhu's all over the place with their colors and their sets and stuff, and it just feels really confusing at times. But this is the brush chisel set, which again is what I was really looking for. I feel like this one actually came with a really decent set of pinks to purples, more so than I've seen in other sets, so I was pleased by that. You get a really, really nice set of like skin tones and skin tone variety, which I like a lot, and it continues right here with the browns. Honestly, I don't think you get as many greens as I would have expected. And I'm not counting the blue greens in this, but I feel like really you're only getting these as your greens. And there's weirdly a couple mixed over here. I'm still not sure why she did it that way, but that's fine. This swatch will be perfectly useful for me. I'm not swatching these again. That I have done nothing but swatch, and will do nothing but continue to swatch the week leading up to this video. So we're not swatching things again. Like, I accidentally colored that one wrong, so I just put a little swatch above it. Now, let me tell you, I will say their grays are a mess. Like, there's some of them that are labeled BG2, 03, blue gray 23, MG is MG060 is blue gray 6. So some of them have like GG and a number or CG and a number, and then some of them have Roman numerals. Some of them have yeah, they're a mess. I wish they would come up with a standard naming convention for their grays. Her way of swatching was interesting. She did all the light ones first, the mediums, then the darks, and then instead of doing all the cool grays together and stuff. Again, this shouldn't be hard for me to decipher, but it's just a little unusual. But again, if you want her swatches of the 216 set, specific Honolulu set, let me know and I will provide those in the comments, or the link to her YouTube channel, or I think she uses Gumroad, which is a fairly new, I think like an Etsy alternative. So yeah, those are going to be my really want to blend or use you know, like 3 color combos a lot. What I would typically use my Copics for is what those are going to do, mostly in my office, and then if I need a complementary color from Copics to complement that, or Caliart or something, I can just pull those as needed. Finally, I have a very interesting set. I have never heard of Croma markers, and Tammy, my partner in crime when it comes to art supply enablement and books, messaged me and said that they had a lightning deal, I assume, on, so these come in A, B, and C sets to give you the full color set. So 3 sets of 72, which is it 216? I don't know. That sounds reasonably right. Don't quote me on that, but it sounds reasonably right. So they have an A, B, and C set, and they didn't have the A set, either didn't have it or it wasn't marked down, but sets B and C, each set of 72 was marked down to $15 a piece. And even budget markers, like the 20,000 different names markers, don't give you that many for $15 usually. So we were intrigued. These seemed to be like a branded marker that was really high up there in price for a while. It is, so they came, we ordered, she's going to be showing these as well because she got them, but they came, each set came in these little soft cases. However, the interesting thing is they had these plastic dividers in the bottom, and where it gave it some more stability. However, because I'm going to use these early in the living room, I just wanted them all in their own set, so I just got this big marker case, dumped out like the old half-dried markers that were in there that I probably need to get rid of, and I put them in here. And so B set was like the dark colors, and then the C set was all the light colors or something like that. And so I guess it was supposed to be like dark, medium, light. And so I just took the 2 sets and combined them, swatched them out by number and color to get this combo. I wanted to show you these markers because they're interesting. They are not quite as big as an Ohuhu or a they're cross in size between a tau tree and an Ohuhu or a Caliart. I would say in terms of the roundness of them, and you can see it in the little plastic slots I showed you, like they're closer to an Ohuhu or a Caliart than a tau tree, but they are smaller, so they're kind of in the middle, which is interesting. These are chisel and fine tip, but the fine tip is actually a pretty long fine tip, which I think could make these interesting for George Tufexis or small detailed sections. So, these are new to me markers, but here is the swatch of the 2 sets, the B and C set. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, When I checked these on Amazon, they're showing us currently unavailable. So I don't know if that was because they were being discontinued. I don't know if they had an overstock and they were selling those off before they got more in. I don't know what the status is on these, but I did want to go ahead and talk about them because I just think they're an interesting experiment. Plus, they do still have, like, I think you can buy the whole 216 set like together in one set. I think they still have those available. So still a good idea to go ahead and take a look at these. Now, what's interesting about these to me, and I just went solely by color, you know, name, color code and number, like R8, R10, put them in that type of order, and then just try to go like I typically do. Though I did swatch all the browns first, which I tend to do with markers these days. These two sets are interesting because there aren't a ton of colors that are just like out there on their own, like a really wacky pink that doesn't really go in it with anything, or a really wacky blue or something like that. Most of these colors seem to have went to the trouble to carefully cultivate these sets to provide those 3 color combos, multiple color combos that a lot of us look for when we do marker coloring. And so, like, if you'll see here, like, you see all these golds and yellows are really close to each other. There's one orange, so that's like the one out there color. But now remember, I don't have the A set either, so I don't know what exactly. For all I know, there could have been 2 complementary oranges in that one that would have worked with this one. So the ones that are odd or kind of out there, it could be that what was in the A set was supposed to complement them. But this was just I got 140 markers for $30 that are branded markers, so let's see how they do. But you got a lot of golds. These nice, like, kind of yellow browns would complement well. These dark brown reds. I love that these actually have brownish pinks that go together. I don't see that as often. I just see a lot of bright pinks, but I'll see like one brownish pink or 2, but I won't see any that really go well together. Like these 2 go well together, these 2. So that was like the really intriguing thing about this set to me, was the colors generally look like they were, like there was an attempt made to create combinations with these. And I'm sure I'm missing a big piece of this with the A set, but if it ever comes back and I like these well enough, I may get it. But they are, like I said, very interesting. Their grays are kind of wacky too. Like you get, so here's, okay, one interesting thing. There's only one black marker in one of the sets. I can't remember if it's B or C. You'd have to go look at the swatches. But there's only one black marker. They don't include the black marker with every set. They also don't include the colorless blender with every set. The colorless blender was the extra marker in the other set that didn't have the blacks. So you don't get multiple black markers when you do this, which I think would have been really nice, honestly, because I go through my black markers all the time, but I like black backgrounds. So, but like some of these red grays, you've got like just about every shade of red gray you could ever want. A fair number of neutrals. The warm grays, you get a 1 and you get a 6. That's it. I don't even know what tea is supposed to be. A tea gray. Does it say on it? Let me look. It is toner gray. That's okay. Toner gray. You get a fair number of those. Like so you get a fair amount of cool grays. It's the warm grays that you're really lacking. And again, I'm not going to be critical too much of what this set is lacking, because again, I think this is supposed to be designed that you buy these sets together, or you buy one set to complement like what else you already have. So I have other markers that will complement this well. when I swatched these out, I noticed they weren't overly juicy, which I think will be interesting to see how these actually do blend, because they seem like they've been designed to blend or complement each other on art or on a coloring page. And so I'll be interested when I actually color using these, how well they actually do blend together. I am going to try some blending. Of course, one of my biggest questions in my marker series is, do they yellow? And I have not completed a page yet, though stay tuned, as in a few minutes you'll probably be seeing a completed page from these. Do these yellow? I've left them on this page for a little bit. It looks like the bright yellow came through a little bit, but I don't see any evidence of anything on here. However, I would still want to color a couple pages in some books before I 100% say, you know, from my testing, whether or not they yellow. So now I'm going to show you guys some completed pages with the different sets of markers that I have. So let's move on to that. So I said I wasn't going to splurge anymore on Dreamland watercolors, and then she came out with her Christmas sale, and I just couldn't resist. Sorry, grabbing some coffee. This was the release that I missed in August. It's a On the Rocks combo, where there are two combos of watercolors. They're called Crystals and Cocktails. There's two combos that aren't necessarily designed to go with each other, but they do complement each other really well. And I found these interesting because they are such bright neon-y type shimmery watercolors. It's a very unusual type of pigmentation to the metallic and shimmery style watercolors that I use. So I just couldn't resist. I figured I'd give myself one more run. And then here are a couple of, are these stickers? They feel like stickers. I guess if you wanted to swatch these separately, I really, one of the things I should focus on this next year is actually, yeah, they're stickers, is creating some master palettes with all these swatched out, or all these moved into bigger tins, so I don't have 20,000 little bitty tins. I'm just going to show you some of them real quick, and then I'm going to unwrap and swatch them, and we will come back. Come on. So, due to their names, I should be able to tell which set is which. Now, I need to check also, when I come back with swatching, I'll tell you guys, which you can go to her website. Usually she will release a set. So this is Daiquiri, this is the cocktails one. Hypnotic Breeze, these are really fun. Usually she will release a set and she'll do it as a pre-order. So she's, you know, you're purchasing it so she can get the materials to actually make it, and then over a course of 2 or 3 months she usually makes them and ships them out. These, I believe, were just leftovers from her store over the year. And then there might be some that are available for pre-order. I don't know what all she has left in her store yet, but you want to talk about some luxurious, like high-end shimmery iridescent watercolors, like these are amazing. So here is the Daiquiri one. We're just going to take this off. Gives you, you know, the paper gives you a little bit of an idea of what the color is going to be. And then they're wrapped in this shiny black paper. Now you can get quarter pans and half pans, and I think I just usually get quarter pans because these go a long way and they are pricey. So I would rather have more colors than more of each color. Now obviously I'll change down the road if I run out, but like here is the Daiquiri one. They are listed on the side and of course have a little magnet down here so you can put them in your little case. So let me get these unwrapped and swatched and let us have a closer look. Oh, and you also get samples, which is that's what these little cards are. Dryad, I think I already have that one. Justice, I don't think I have. European Seas, I might have that one. I don't know. But anyway, let me get these unwrapped and swatched. Alright, so my original Dreamland watercolor sheet was full, so I added them to the Kuretake page. I do eventually want to do small little swatches for each individual tin, but I'm going to do that later on. Right now I just want to get them all on a swatch. They're still drying, but these are the colors. If I can make sure they're actually in the camera. So I've got the crystals at the top and then the cocktails there along the bottom. There's 8 for each set. And here are the colors, and y'all, I'm so excited about these. They are just super bright. It's really bright here right now because of the way the sun's hitting my room this time of day, but like this is just a really cool like golden yellow. I love these different blues here. Though the Vista Blue and Hypnotic Breeze look pretty close to each other, this is kind of a blue pink, this Aviation. And of course when you turn them in different directions you get different colors, so it's a little hard to see the different ones, but this Fluorite's kind of a pinkish blue as well. The Emerald is more of a lime green at one angle and then a deeper blue green at another. I love this one. I do not know how to pronounce that. Peridot? Maybe? It is like a really shimmery light green that gets kind of a yellowish when you tilt it up, and it's very pretty. The Lapis Lazuli, I knew I was going to love that one. It is like a very rich purple if you tilt it. Like I said, though, it's the only downside to iridescence is it's really hard to show them on camera versus what they look like if you tilt them at another angle. What I may do is insert a picture here of the angle where I can see them, and then you guys can see them the way they are right here. But they're just really bright. I don't know, they're a lot different than a lot of the other ones that I have. All the Dreamland watercolors are all very rich and pigmented. I mean, for the price point, that's no surprise. I didn't have the little Justice sample swatch, so I did put it up here, and it's like this really cool pinkish yellow color, which I actually don't have anywhere else. So problem is I don't know how to get my hands on it when I run out of the sample. So these are all my tiny little sample cards I have. And then, but I have like European Seas. This is beautiful blue purple color, and Dryads up here, it's like a nice little green color. But these remind me a little bit of the Folklore set, the set right here, but they're like pumped up. And I am super excited about these. I'm real glad I got them. I thought they would just be a unique addition to the watercolors I have. And hopefully you will be seeing me use more of these in pictures. Yeah, this one right here and these blues are just stunning. I love it. Okay. Alright. So, whoops, don't want to stack those on top of each other. Let's let them dry. Next up on my watercolors is this. I ended up, so I gifted the Dreamland watercolors to me. Where did you come from? I have to figure that one out. The old desk is just falling apart. I gifted the Dreamland watercolors to myself. I also gifted these. I had mentioned when I got the pastel confections that I have just those and the Derwent pastels. I had seen an artist review these though, and I don't have any of the White Nights watercolors, so I liked the extra variety, including like the light browns and some of the other saturated colors in this set, so I thought I'd give it a try. So it comes in this little plastic tin. I mean, it feels more secure than some of the other tins that I've gotten, so I don't mind it too much. I don't think I've even opened these yet. It does feel a little difficult to open. I'm just making sure I open it right. I prefer the metal tins where you can, oh, it comes completely off. Okay. Yeah, that's a little annoying. Alright, so we got a swatch card here, which is very cool. I'm assuming this is a quality check. I am not sure where these come from, because I do not recognize the language. I think it is a European group, but it's not, I don't know. Anyway, it says St. Petersburg, so I guess these are Russian. So, very cool. Like I said, you've got your little swatch card right there. Here are the pans. They look very large, actually. Actually, I think they're upside down. There we go. So here is the peach. I've never had the White Knights before. That is like a full pan. That is a chunky pan. Compared to those little quarter pans that I just swatched. Like, that is a chunky pan. So this is the peach. I thought I would unwrap just one and show you guys. And then I'll do the rest of them and the swatch off camera. Oh my, yes. That is dry, but man, it almost looks wet. It's kind of glossy. A little bit of cracking along the edges, but considering they were filling that pan up, that's understandable. It's got the color number, I guess, on the side. I hope that's what this is supposed to be. And then no magnet or anything on the bottom, but it's supposed to just set in here. So let me get these unwrapped and swatched, and we'll take another peek. Alright, we are back with the swatched version, a whole lot brighter desk because it got dark outside. So here are the swatches. They are really pretty. They feel pretty opaque too, so really like that. But the colors are super pretty. I love this one. I think it's called Dunes, I believe. I forgot to write down the names of these, but they do have the numbers on the sides, so if I need to refill them in the future. This palette is a little difficult to pop the trays in and out, so I just hope I don't have to like replace any of these anytime soon. Though given the size of the pans, I don't think I'll need to. Barely had to grab any off the surface to do the swatch, so curious to see how these will turn out. It looks like there might be a little slot up here if you had like a tiny little travel brush or something you could put in there, but I don't have anything like that. So that is the White Knights set, pastel set. Like I said, I'm curious to test these out, and if I like them, I might look at getting some of the other sets in the future. Alright, I completely do not know which direction this was supposed to go. It's got to be this way. It's got to be this way. Oh, this case is going to drive me nuts. But there is the White Knight set. Next up we have the Gansai Tambi. I believe this is the Nouveau color set. So this is a 24 color set of just different types of colors. I also have the full, like the 48 color set on my list, but I believe this is a unique color set that's different from that set. So we have like saffron yellow, green gold. I think it is like a Nouveau. I think it's the way it's described in Amazon or on Amazon. Pale pink, coral pink. Not like the typical colors I guess you would find in like your standard colors. And it says it's like a Japanese type style watercolor. It says it can be used as a gouache and then watered down for use as a watercolor. on the little packet. And here they are. It, for some reason, it comes this way instead of in the actual box, which I think is a little weird, but you've got the little plastic cover here. If I can ever get this off. Oh my goodness. There we go. So we have these, and then there's a swatch here. If you looked at my last supply haul, I tried the Mozart Japanese style watercolors, and then I also have the Kuretake Japanese style watercolors in the different like starry gem sets and so on. So I really like these. I like the ones in the Mozart, so that's why I had the Gansai Tambi on my list. Let me get these swatched out, and then we'll take a quick look at the colors. Alright, now we're all swatched up. They are still drying, but I am trying to run through this quickly. I probably should have just hit them with my heat gun, but you can still see they are a little damp, but very pretty colors. All these have a uniquely kind of muted tone to them, which I think, except for that vermilion really pops, but a lot of these have, like I said, that muted kind of color to them, and just real pretty colors. Like I said, that I think were released as just a different type of set overall. I don't know how much I liked using my water brush with these. The Mozart, I have to say it slowly so it sounds right, set, I feel like I didn't have to use a lot of water to get color, and these are also very pigmented, like very much so. I pick up a lot with a brush very quickly, but I almost felt like I had to wet them down a little bit more to get a smooth color, which was fine. And when I say a bit, like literally like maybe another drop or two, probably would want to put a drop or two in here to give them a few minutes to soften before adding them. That was one thing I will probably do in the future with these, but I'm not sure how I like best to apply these. I don't know if I'm going to be using the water brush or just try like a regular watercolor brush. I'll have to see and figure out which one I like. But yeah, real pleased with these colors, and it will be interesting to see how I can use these. So in the watercolor realm, of course, those actually could be used as gouache. Like, I guess if you apply them thickly like that and they have that opaque look, you can kind of use those as gouache. Funny enough, when I mentioned in the Gansai Tambi Nouveau colors showing that I was hoping to also get the 48 set of the Gansai Tambi, that came today, which is Tuesday, that I'm working on this one, and it is the 48 set of the Gansai Tambi, which is awesome. So look at that. Same packaging. You have your little plastic cover there to protect the paints. It comes with a separate swatch sheet like this that you can use, and it also comes with one on the back of the cover, which is what I used to swatch this out. I did look at this and compare the colors to the Nouveau 24 set, and I didn't look one for one, but just at a glance I didn't see any overlaps. So if you have the 48 set and you want to get the different colors in the Nouveau, you'll have to purchase that set separately, and vice versa. If you want to look at the full 48 Gansai Tambi set, this particular set doesn't have those Nouveau colors either. So was really excited to swatch this out. These are Japanese style watercolors in the shallow pan design. I do have, so Kuretake Gansai Tambi is a full, I guess, name and company and everything. I do have, before I got this in the Nouveau set, I did have the little like gem and pearl colors in those sets, and I've liked those so far, but I was curious to see what their standard watercolors would be like. So I did swatch here on the cover, and I really like this. This is an easy way to keep up with the swatch. They're mostly dry. I really like the colors on this one. I know that they're, you know, standard fare when it comes to, I guess, watercolors, but I do like having more variety because at least when I'm using these coloring wise, I don't tend to want to mix, because unless I color everything with that mix, I'm really bad at being able to consistently mix that color. So having more color variety is helpful to me from the get-go, and I just really like the colors on here. Like I said, I think they're pretty standard. I like these olivey colors right here, the greenish yellow and the olive green. I really like just that turquoise blue color is probably my favorite color overall. It's like my favorite color in just about every set, so I'm always super happy with it. Some really nice browns and neutrals in this. Some really nice deep colors too, like some deep greens and deep blues and blue grays. So you've got a lot of nice dark colors, and then you do get 3 metallics. I don't know if you can really see the shine. There it is a little bit. So there's like a white gold, a blush gold, and then a regular gold there. And they look pretty sharp actually. So I don't know, these might actually be part of, you know, now that I think about it, I think these might be part of their Starry Night. They have like a gold and silver set, and looking at these numbers, they feel very similar in numbers. Let's take a look, shall we? Those are the Clearos Starry Colors. Gansai Tambi. Let's take a look real quick. We have, okay, so these are 900s. So we have 906, which is actually this color, the white gold. The other ones say 91 and 90. There we go. Swatches were right behind it. Yeah, those are different. So that's a 91 and a 90. These are all 900s. So the white gold is the same, but I think the other shades are slightly different. So good to know. I like not having overlap, though if I use these a lot, I felt like a little went a long way. Like you can tell from the way the pan's drying, I just barely dipped into these. I did pre-moisten them with a drop of water, and they came up and went a lot more fluid onto the swatch than the Nouveau ones did. So I do think that benefits it to give it time to activate and with that water. And yeah, I am really happy with these. I am thankful, very thankful, that I was able to get 2 more sets of drawer storage units that are coming next week, because I do not have the space for all these new watercolors, and so I'll need more drawers for more watercolors. I am officially a watercolor hoarder, I think. So yeah, so I guess let's move on to the next one as well. But speaking of gouache, I decided to get some official gouache to use because I tend to like opaque paint more, which is odd because I use a lot of watercolors, but of course I usually use them as like a base or whatever, and sometimes I just want that more opaque color like that. And so I figured I'd try some gouache. I know the HIMI brand's a pretty good starting point for somebody that wants to start off with gouache. There's 24 colors in this one. This thing is chunky. Like, I had no idea. I am terrible with looking at sizes of things on Amazon, because when I actually get them, this to me looked similar in size to, like, maybe not a regular watercolor palette, but it definitely didn't look this wide to me. So that was interesting when I got that. This is a very sturdy, well-made case. It's got the double clips here at the top. It's got a mixing tray here. And then I figured out this is why, because these are all very chunky pans. Like, these are huge, absolutely huge. They're 30 milliliters. And it has the color name at the top. It actually has, like, I guess a lot code and everything if you had some issues and needed to troubleshoot or something. But this is just a 24 color set, and these are the jelly style wet gouache. Of course, they are awful snug in this palette. I don't know how I'm supposed to be able to get them out easily. Okay, they all have their own individual tray, so that's good. Hopefully once I get the plastic tops off and then pop them back in here. I was trying to get a color. We could do the orange here and just crack it open a little bit. Having a little tab like open here would be super helpful. Boy, we might not be swatching these today. I might just call it and we pick them back up tomorrow. Does anybody have any suggestions on how to get these open without winding up with paint all over me? That would be helpful. My goodness. Oh, wait. There we go. So there's the burnt umber, which looks... Oh, no. Y'all are getting a little bit of brown there. So these are the jelly style gouache, the wet style that I haven't tried yet. So, I don't see any sort of swatch card on here, so it looks like I'm going to need to make my own swatch. And it does come with some different brushes, which is pretty cool. So I guess let me get all the tops off these and let me swatch them, and we will be back to take a look. Alright, so the HIMI gouache finally has had all the tops taken off, and I even mixed them all a little bit. Some of them had like look like, you know, the liquid had separated a bit. I would highly suggest that you like shake them really well before you open them up. That'll probably help distribute them a little bit better than the mixing I did. This is like the messiest paint process I've had opening a new package. Like the little plastic tops on here are secure, but they're secure to the point where it's very difficult to take them off, especially without getting paint all over your hands. I've had to wash my hands a couple times. They really need like an extra pull tab or a little arrow indicating like the one that is, you know, maybe slightly less secure than the others, so that they're easier to pull off. Like that would be my biggest thing here on the packaging. To be fair, I have never dealt with like this jelly style wet gouache before, so this is going to be a learning experience once I get into this. But here are the colors, and here is the swatch. Some of them are still drying a bit. like I said, these are feel very different to like watercolors to me, so I'm going to have to play around with them probably to get a little used to them. A couple of them I was able to get like the more matte gouache finish, but then go out to more of a watercolor shade, which was something I wish I could have done for all of them, but I am not that talented with these yet. So definitely recommend, if you're not used to this type of gouache or paint, to, you know, and what I'm going to do is play around with it on some scrap pieces of paper, and you know, maybe do a tutorial or something like that to get used to how they feel before I see how I can apply them to my coloring pages. So I'm probably not going to keep the swatch in here because it will get messed up and paint all over it. Where's the tray? So I need to look a little bit more on, like, do these dry out over time? I'm assuming just some water will reactivate them. Does having this in here help, or does it just wind up getting paint all over it? Neither one of those I know, so for now I'm just going to, whoops, hit my light. For now I'm just going to put the lid on it to secure it. Maybe. There we go. Well, it's not securing as much as I want it to secure. There we go. Okay. So there is the HIMI gouache. Like I said, very interesting. I have some Arteza gouache in the tubes that I need to play with at some point as well, but I wanted to try this type of gouache as well. So put that over here. What am I doing next? We're going to do the ROSA watercolors. I wanted a little more artist grade level of watercolors, and so I was looking at the ROSA Gallery. I think there's another ROSA, but we're talking specifically about the ROSA Gallery. These are Ukrainian watercolors, and they come in all kinds of different sets. I ended up getting the botanical set, which was a set of 28. So these are a little, I think a little higher quality than some of the more budget watercolors I have. They're not, you know, super expensive watercolors. They come in a regular watercolor tin. They're not super expensive, but they're probably a little bit better quality than some of the budget ones I have. So here they are. These look like, maybe these are still quarter pounds, or are they half pans? They look like larger size pans, so I bet these are like half pans. But this is the way they come. I'm gonna have to, of course, take all the packaging off and swatch. I didn't see any type of swatch card in here, which is a shame, but I have a ready piece of,
so for some reason my
cardstock to do that with. So let me get these
video
unwrapped
clip decided to just mute itself at this point. So this is going to look very different than what it looks like I'm doing on the camera. I'm showing you guys a water cup that you'll be seeing here in a few minutes. I swatched this after I unboxed that, and by the way, I love that thing. So if I'm talking about it after this video, I know that I actually do recommend that. So but here are the ROSA watercolor pans. They've been unwrapped. And then I've got the swatch set up for them, and I have no idea what I'm talking about here. But to mix things up a little bit, instead of creating a swatch that I can fit into the pan, I decided to do a full sheet and just use the stickers from the watercolors to end up, yeah, there's no telling what I'm talking about. Missing a lot of good information. Probably not. A lot of me babbling. But I used the stickers instead of writing them all down. I thought that would just be easier. I've seen Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, do that. So this is the botanical set. I did pick this one up because it had a few unique colors. That opera rose color I just pointed at, I absolutely love. Y'all know I'm not a fan of pink, but I really love that pink. It's something about the botanical set. They were just real vibrant colors. Love how they laid down. You can definitely tell a difference in the pigment. Like, these were very luscious. I think they're full pans. Don't quote me on that, but they're either half pans or full pans. They're definitely not quarter size pans. They're very large compared to my other ones, but not a ton of greens, but that's okay. I'm curious to see how this set mixes up when I'm mixing colors. So but I love the yellows and the oranges and the reds and pinks in particular. For this one, really jumped out at me. Of course, I always love the blues in a set, and I have a ton of watercolor sets, so I wanted something that had a few unique colors in it, and that's one of the things I liked about the ROSA Gallery Watercolors, is that they came in a bunch of different type sets based on your needs. It just wasn't your typical set of colors, so I thought that was really cool. I guess I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next piece because, again, have no idea what I'm talking about here, but I'm really excited to try these, and I'm glad I picked them up.
A couple of watercolor related products I picked up. I think some of these I picked up a few months ago and I did not show. I have decided to take Lindsay the Frugal Crafter, one of her watercolor classes. I signed up for it. Hang on, there we go. I signed up for it when it was on discount, and so I decided to, like, I needed more watercolor brushes, but I decided to pick up some that she recommended. These are the ARTEGRIA, I guess is how you would say it. It's 10 different art brushes. Like, I guess these would be considered like beginner type brushes. Now, how do you open them? So I thought I would pick up some of these. And I'm going to try to keep them in this container so I know that they are separate. Why do you go ahead and take everything out of the packaging, Michelle, when you do these videos? This is why. So we don't run into problems like this. There we go. So they come in this little bag. I probably won't worry about the bag. But this shows you the different ones that you get. You get a couple flat brushes, an oval, a dagger striper, and then different round brushes. And so they're probably all, I can hear the plastic rattling, probably all individually wrapped. Yep. So, can you see these through the plastic at all? Not really. Okay. If I had realized these were this heavily packaged, I would have already opened them up. There we go. So, like, here is the 8 round brush. I do like that these are clearly labeled and marked. Not all my brushes are. It's got a little protector here. And so I need to, I guess, take all these, but then you've got this, what are they called? See, I'm still, even though I've been using watercolor a while on coloring pages, I'm still learning like what the different brushes are called, and I'm not sure which one this one is. Oh, this, it's actually on there. Look at that. That's the dagger one. I guess you can just bust through the top on these. So there is that one. So neat little brush set. Like I said, I'm probably going to keep them in here just so I don't get them confused with the rest of my brushes yet. And see, like, if I like them, then I'll probably end up keeping them. Like, I need to probably go through my brushes anyway, so there's a couple right there. I picked those up. Then I also got these. These are 2 quill brushes that I thought I could add to the set. At least these just come in the little paper. Why do I have the hardest time with packaging? So these are the quill style brushes. I thought I would pick some of these up as well to try them. I have not tried this style of brush before. And again, this was on her recommended list. That is so cool looking. Like I said, these are more beginner style brushes. I know, like, the real fancy watercolor brushes that are out there, like the more expensive artist grade, you know, could be $20 plus a brush or way more. But I feel like this is a good start. I don't need those right now. Heck, I probably didn't need these either, but I decided to be a little extra and pick those up. So let me put those over here. Her class also has us, she recommended using these watercolor cards instead of like the full pages. That way, like, you know, if you have a finished piece, it's really cool because then you can use it as a handwritten card. Not that I send a lot of cards to people, but it would be nice. Plus, this gives a smaller surface where if I can try one side. If I don't like it, I can try the other. It gives me a lot of practice, ways to practice and not use up my watercolor paper. This Strathmore watercolor card set is a set of 50 cards and envelopes. So, and it's a cold press. Again, not that I'm super familiar with what all that means, but that was, and the class also recommended the Pretty Excellent watercolors. That's the ones she's going to use in the series, and I actually already have those. So that was one of the reasons I was drawn to it, because I already had the recommended watercolors. I did pick up a few different, few more different things. I picked up another porcelain palette. I think I have just one right now. I have a couple different styles of palettes, and I tend to not like using the palettes that come with, like, as part of the watercolor sets. I tend to use separate ones. And so this was a really nice one with a whole lot of different little wells that I can use. I tend to use a lot of different colors and usually run out of places to mix. So this will be nice to have, and it is a really sturdy one. It is the Meeden brand, which Meeden, I've been seeing a lot of lately, but it feels very solid, and excited to use it. And last on it is another Meeden product. This is a wash cup. I am finding I love my little, oh shoot, and I have to go get those. Hang on. All right. I have a paint puck like cup that, as you can see by the stains, gets used quite frequently. It does have the little piece at the bottom that helps wash your brush off. I do use this a lot, however, and I was tempted to get more like this, but the price point's really high for them, and like, I almost prefer using the little like ball jelly glasses that I have, because this you have to take apart, and at least with those where they're rounded, at the bottom I don't have as many pieces and parts to take apart. So what I decided to do, I've been using the ball glasses for a while, but I wanted to upgrade to this. Let me get it out of the styrofoam. This neat little double wash cup. So one side will be the dirty water side and the other side will be the clean water side. And instead of buying a paint puck cup, I ended up getting a 3-pack of the actual pucks that can suction cup to the bottom of any cup. So I figured these will be a lot more versatile for me depending on what I want to use, and will make cleanup a little bit easier. Of course I'll still use my paint puck cup, but I probably won't use it as much. But like, you can just take one of these, and obviously I'd take the thing off and just stick it to the bottom and I'd have my brush cleaner. So I get 3-pack of these is a lot, like $10 cheaper than the cup. So just was a whole lot better deal in my opinion, and so I picked that up. And maybe instead of using all the little ball canning glasses, now I can use this instead. Alright, next up, so my favorite gel pens are the Jelly Roll gel pens, in particular the Jelly Roll Stardust pens. They are the most free-flowing gel pens. They do give a sparkle, and they have a lot of ink in them, so they last a really long time. However, they're limited in the amount of colors. You do get a clear one, but like sometimes I get lazy and I don't want to use the marker and then do the clear over it. And sometimes that silver kind of under layer to the sparkle is not what I want. Like, I just want like a legit glittery look. I don't want it to be like orange silvery and pink silvery and gold silvery, if that makes it. Probably doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so I used to own a whole bunch of gel pens, never did anything with them, ended up giving a bunch of them away. So I asked my friend Chris from Christopher Michael's YouTube channel, by the way, on here, what his favorite gel pen set is, because he uses them a lot, and he recommended the Soucolor 60 gel pens with 60 refills. So it says 120, but it's really just 60 pens. So I decided to get this, and here they are. We're going to adjust the lighting a little bit now that I've opened this up. I apologize, I am having lighting issues. It is something I am going to try to figure out in the new year a little better, if I can. So actually they come out to 3 different rows, and they all, the one thing I like about these is they have the color names, they have color numbers on them, and the refills come in this nice little zippered pack, so I can just keep it all together. They're not just, I'm not fumbling around with these separately. These all hopefully have numbers on them. I think so. I can see them, so we should be good there. They did not come in the order they are in the swatch chart, so I put them in order of the swatch chart. And so let me put these off to the side. Here is the swatch chart. We're going to bring it down just a little. You can see just already that they have really great shine to them. Some of them are a little harder to get going than others. I think it generally is the lighter colors, which typically in my experience with gel pens, that is not unusual. The lighter colors tend to run a little thinner. I gotta tell you, I really love this black glitter gel pen. That's one that I wish Jelly Roll would include as a black glitter gel pen. Like, if they had another color they could add to that, I wish they'd add a black pen. So But you get all kinds of really cool colors with this. I have used these quite a bit since I've got them. Like I said, they take a little bit to get started, but I've had really good flow out of all of them. Even the neons look really nice. Yeah, like I said, I've been really happy with them. This comes with a little swatch chart, which is probably all I'm going to use. It does come with some images if you want to color them. I don't know. These are Zentangle, Zendoodle-like. I don't know. I do like that squirrel, though, and that cat. Might do something with these. Who knows? But this will probably move back and forth. I will probably use the Jelly Roll pens when I just need a, couple colors. But if I want to get something that has a little more variety to it, then I'll probably pull this pack out. The one thing, there's only one red and that bothers me, like one true red, and that is this glitter brick color. And you can't go by the pen colors themselves, because this looks like a really dark red, but like when you put it on the paper, it's a normal red. I have real trouble finding good red gel pens. Jelly Roll does have that good red glitter, which is one of the reasons I like using that one so much. But as long as I have one, I'm happy. But there's, quite a few pinks through here. Some really nice different purples that I like a lot. And then you've actually got some neutrals, which I have used surprisingly more than I thought I would at this point. So there's kind of a dark red here with this fox fur. But anyway, really happy with those. It's just small enough of a set, and it comes with its own case where I can easily move it from room to room, and it's not so many pens that it's overwhelming, but it gives me just enough variety that if I need a step up from the Jelly Rolls, I can go with this. Plus, this doesn't give the constant silvery undertone, like it actually gives the undertone of the color of the gel pen, which sometimes I would rather have. Oh, and if you want a more detailed review of these, hopefully I'll remember in the top right, the card, I will link to Chris's full review on these, where he goes into more detail and he colors some pages with them and things like that, if you do want to see more info on them. Let's see, what do I have next? Aritisto. So I had gotten the Aritisto colored pencils a few months back when they were marked down. They had like a 50% off coupon, and it happened again. And they did it for both the color pencils and the watercolor pencils. And I was like, well, dang it, let's try the watercolor pencils. So I picked those up. They come in this cute little tin with the little cheetah. I have already taken them out. If you've seen my intro, you already know I have swatched them. No, I did not use this card because I do not like the order that they are in. Though actually this one's not too bad. However, the boxes aren't big enough to where I feel like I can activate them with water on this. You have like a clear plastic sheet where some people use that as the blotter page instead of a standard piece of cardstock. I feel weird about the texture of this, so I don't ever use them, but other people do. And then it had a foam protecting, and then these good old flimsy plastic trays that we've all come to know and love. So, yep, and I think the colored pencils came in a purple tin instead of this magenta color. Alright, so I did put these in a case. Funny enough, I bought the exact same case for the watercolor pencils. They are similar in that they are hexagonal in shape, similar to the Arteza watercolor pencils, and Albert Dürer, I believe. So here is a good look. Let me just pull the camera this way. Wow, that got even brighter than I wanted. How did that even happen? I don't even understand that one. Like I moved it a notch and they got brighter. Anyway, here they are. You do get a silver and a gold in this. So here's the real business though that I feel like people should definitely know before you buy the watercolor pencils or you buy the regular colored pencils or the Aritisto. Um, One would think, call me crazy, but one would think that if you had colored pencils in a 72 set and you had a watercolor pencil in a 72 set that you would have the same colors, right? No. Not in this case. And so here is the regular color pencils. I had noted these in the last supply haul as being having multiple grays, a lot of peaches and neutrals, which I thought made this a really unique colored pencil set. I like the laydown of them. They blend really well. They are just a nice set of colored pencils. So I was curious to see what the watercolor pencils would do. And the watercolor pencils have four grays, I guess, if you count this one. They have one peach type light skin tone color. That's it. I was shocked at that, let me tell you. And then just a lot more greens, a few more purples, a lot more reds. Like this didn't have as very many reds at all, and pinks, but like this one really does. That's where all the extra colors went. And I'm a little flustered at that because I would have liked to have seen this done this way. But, you know, what you gonna do? I didn't really like the way the gold or the silver activated. They activated okay, but now I do like how these activated with water. Lindsay the Frugal Crafter did compare them to Arteza, but to me, they are a bit more saturated than my Arteza pencils. My Arteza pencils, I love, and don't get me wrong, I love my Arteza watercolor pencils. In fact, I like using them as more pastel-y type colors when I'm looking for bases because of their lightness when you activate them. These are more saturated than the Artezas. I think for a budget watercolor, these are well saturated. And it didn't take a whole ton of water to activate them. So I think it's a very nice watercolor set, and I'm glad I got it. But I would have really wanted a watercolor set that was complementary to the regular colored pencil set. So I'm a little miffed at that, but I will definitely still use both. However, I just want to tell you guys, in case you make the same assumption I do. So there is that. All right, so there is that information. And finally, oh, one thing I do want to mention on this, when I was talking about Lindsay the Frugal Crafter, she just did a piece of art with the Artisto watercolor pencils. So I'm going to link to that in the description if you want to actually see those pencils used in a mixed media piece. And she kind of gives her thoughts on them. So there's that. And I think this is finally in my list. We have this gigantic thing. This, as Cindy, as Cindy on here would put it, a situation. I don't know why I thought I needed this. I didn't have any of the Kalour pencil sets, and I was not about to do the 500 and something, however many it is. So I settled for the 300, and I had asked for this as a Christmas gift, and I got it. And look at this tin. How deep? You can hear an echo. That's how deep. It's like a hole. It's a black hole of colored pencils that you can hear an echo from. You could put me in the bottom of this and put, you know, pastel lotion in a basket. It is that deep of a case. I gotta find something, the echo is killing me. It's a well of colored pencils, if you will. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but I can. It is cracking me up. I'm going to hold on to this because I'm sure I can use it for some sort of storage. But this was ridiculous, and I'm never doing this again. This about broke me. You'll have heard all about it in the intro. So I'm not going to reiterate it here, but you could hear the thing thunking and Alright, so I found a swatch that let me put all the colors on one page. This is from my Coloring with Renee. I'm going to put a link to it in the description. This was one of the swatches that she provides as a download. I'm part of her Patreon. Usually she has her Coloring Corner with Renee, I think. Usually her info's on this, but I guess there was no room for it because look! Well, you can't see it all. Look at this situation. Oh. I got a big gigantic case. I did find a 300 pencil case, but the pencils really didn't want to go in here. I can't even put them all in the camera, y'all. This is nuts. They didn't all want to fit in here. Like, it really, they are wedged in there about as tight as they can go for each section. And, but I have to admit, it is pretty soothing to see the color distribution here. But like, yeah, this one's, every once in a while, one just did not want to go in the slots. So they are wedged in there pretty good. Hopefully I won't have too much trouble as I'm using them. Hopefully the loops will loosen up a bit. But yeah. For now I'm messing with the lighting and everything. There we go. So here is the swatch, and I have to say there's not a ton of color duplication. Like when I'm sitting here looking at it, there are not a ton of colors that are just essentially the same color. Like this one and maybe this one look kind of similar. Yeah, I should have already looked at this. Y'all gonna spend 20 minutes. These two colors are really close. There's just a slight shade difference. So there's some that are like really close together that there's just the tiniest, slightest difference in them. But I will give them credit for not creating 300 pencils that all look a whole lot alike when you swatch them together. Like there, I can see a difference on here, but it is so slight that I don't think most people would see it on a picture. So I feel like 300 might be a little excessive. Sometimes 120 doesn't feel like enough, but I feel like 300 might be a little too much. So 180, 200, maybe that's the lucky amount. And so just keep in mind that with this my brain doesn't even want to calculate that it's 300. With this 300 pencil set, you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 fluorescents. You get 14, 15, 24 metallics. And then the rest are just typical standard color pencils. And I don't know, the metallics, I'm not really seeing a huge difference in those swatches like I am the others. But granted, these are also very small swatches. They do have a little bit of shine to them. There's just enough colors that I am curious about them. Not so much if they're selling a separate metallic set that I feel like I need it. But, so what did I just say? There were 24 of those and 10 of the others. So 34 of these are not standard colored pencils, which means I already lost count of how many that was. Dag nabbit. 24, 34, 266. So 266 of these are standard color pencils. Again, 300 was a little excessive. I think they sell a 180 set that I could have looked at, or I don't know if they sell any bigger sets in between that and the 300, but like I didn't necessarily need the metallics. The fluorescents are kind of nice. You usually only get 1 or 2 or 3 of those in a set. You don't get a whole ton, so it is nice to see a little bit of variation there. But I didn't necessarily need those pencils. So like I said, I probably, if I could hit 180 to 200 with a really good established set, like I think I'd be pretty happy. 300 is probably too much, but I figured I would splurge on it. Now, I actually really enjoyed laying down the pencils, even on this cheap little printer paper. I felt like they laid down really easily. I didn't have to use a ton of pressure. After swatching 300 pencils, my arm is not killing me, so there's that. Yeah, so not sure what you're looking at. If I'm not gonna splurge for the great big humongous set, I think 300 is plenty. I'm curious to actually color with these because like I said, they were pretty pleasant to put on this paper. I could see why people already, I can see why a lot of people like these. And these might be my new budget pencil though, given the price of the 300 set. I don't know if this is even considered budget at this point. But in terms of budget level type expectancy of how they work, this might replace like my Filos, because I actually feel like they worked even better on the paper than the Fila pencils do. But I'm curious to see what they do on an Amazon page. So we shall see. Alright, so unless I have missed something, I think that's going to be everything for this video. Again, as a reminder, if you missed it in the beginning, which if I mention it, I'm probably not going to have any videos next week. I was hoping to get one, but it's just, I'm out of it. It took all the energy I had just to get all this done. So you'll probably get a video from me maybe next weekend, maybe on Friday or Saturday. I'd like to do a vlog of like my week where I'm prepping to go on my trip, show a few things from my trip. Just kind of have you guys follow along with me for the week, maybe if I can make it happen. And then after that, sometime during the week after Christmas, I'll post like my 2024 plans and stuff like that. I need to do my coloring book collection video for the month. Yeah, and I'm sure I'll have a coloring chat telling you guys, you know, how everything went. But for the most part, things are going to be pretty quiet here until possibly next weekend. If I can't get it together before Christmas, y'all will get it after Christmas. So if I don't talk to you guys before then, check me out on Instagram. Hopefully I'm posting pictures or completed pages or pictures from my trip or something. I'm usually posting over there at least a couple times a week. And yeah. So if I don't talk to you before the upcoming holidays, happy holidays if your family celebrates. If they don't, I hope you have a nice and relaxing time. I hope if you can, take time off, spend some time with your family if you like your family. Or friends, or just be by yourself and treat yourself, if that's what you want to do. Whatever makes you the happiest, I hope you can do that, at least for a couple days here at the end of the year before we roll into 2024. So thanks guys for watching, and bye for now.